you so much. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan, greeting of virtue. Mr. Ananta Wiyoga, the CEO of PT SMF, Bapak Heri Tri Saputra Zuna, on behalf of Bapak Basuki, the Ministry of Public Work and Housing, honorable panelists, guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon to all of you. It is indeed a distinct honor to welcome you all to this seminar with the topic which is also very important and timely on energy efficient mortgage, EEM development throughout ASEAN countries in this very beautiful room that is purposely set to show. Initially, we have the opening for World Natural Heritage Indonesia, namely Komodo, Lawrence, Bukit Barisan, and Ujung Kulon. We also enjoy a very beautiful music orchestration at the beginning of this event, which also providing a very good setting for our discussion. This seminar is a collaborative event between Ministry of Finance and Ministry of Public Works and Housing. The seminar is held in a timely manner in our effort to shape and reshape the landscape of sustainable finance and energy efficiency in our region, ASEAN. This is especially important since the climate change need to be addressed quickly and effectively, and we need to act fast. The government of Indonesia, as already mentioned earlier, set a very ambitious target and taken significant important step toward its commitment to addressing a climate change and leading the green transition toward a low carbon economy as an emerging market and developing economy. Indonesia has already submitted the Enhanced Nationally Determined Contribution, or NDC, to the UNFCCC by increasing our emission reduction target of 31.89% unconditionally and 43.2% conditionally. The higher target aligns with our long-term low carbon and climate resilience strategy 2050, and also with our vision to achieve net zero emission by 2060 or sooner. As we can see from the biennial update report, that we need a substantial investment with the size up to 281 billion US dollar by 2030 to achieve our national determined contribution target. And we expect the investment to be fulfilled, combined between public and private sector investment. The Indonesia government continue to utilize our state budget to support climate change related projects. We continue to develop many initiatives, including by providing climate budget tagging for the government budget, both at the national and local government. We are also issuing instruments to finance our green project through our green bonds, including green sukuk, blue bonds, as well as SDG bond. The government of Indonesia, Ministry of Finance, also issuing many of the fiscal incentives to attract private investment so that they can participate in building green project and green industry, including by providing incentive in the form of tax holiday, tax allowance, as well as facility on the waiver of the value-added tax, import duty, and property tax. Indonesia has issued regulatory framework to implement carbon pricing and carbon tax in Indonesia, With all this legislation, instrument, and policy, we would like to utilize carbon trading and non-trading instrument so that they can internalize the external cost of greenhouse gas emission with the principle of polluters pay principles. Indonesia also plans to implement piloting of the carbon market by the end of the year by regulating and supervising the which is conducted by Indonesia Financial Sector Authority. The importance to address the environmental challenges has never been more pressing. Here in ASEAN region, we are witnessing remarkable economic expansion and population growth that has driven Asia to become a forefront of global new construction, with 50% of global new construction in the next decade expected to be taken place in Asia. The risk of escalated CO2 emission from the surge in construction activities urge us to address this challenge with innovation to resolve this challenge. The buildings and construction sectors, which are a major contribution to the global energy consumption and CO2 emissions, in 2020, they consume 36% of the total global energy consumption and also contributed 37% of the global CO2 emission. But we also understand that the world and the economy, countries, is not one size fits all. So, in order for us to have a solution for sustainable building, we need to design in any region, any country with their particular localities. In this case, we need to work together to encourage innovation in building construction to improve energy efficiency and limit energy consumption while still providing the need for cooling and ventilation. So we are quite glad and happy to hear that the Ministry of Public Works is already launching a piloting of around 1 million housing, both building and retrofit, with the concept of green housing. Southeast Asia, with its rising living standards and warmer climate, also projected to use 30% of its peak energy demand for space cooling, and also this is increased quite significantly from 2018, in which the consumption is merely 10%. Indonesia, in which the demand for construction of new building is continue increasing and growing, the journey toward sustainable construction still encounter various hindrances. Financial barriers characterized by high upfront costs and limited access to capital cast shadow on the road to building sustainably and infrastructure with the energy efficiency principle. Sustainable building will minimize vulnerability to flooding, noise, and light pollution, as well as minimize polluting emission to water and soil. Sustainable building also play a very important role in achieving our SDG target. Since 2002, with the law on number 28, especially related to building, the Indonesia government has encouraged developers to implement the green building concept. A myriad of investment is needed to meet the green building needs. According to the IFC, the Asia-Pacific region, with half its urban population, will require an estimated 17.8 trillion investment, mainly for residential building. 200 billion is required in the next 10 years to fulfill the investment needed for sustainable building in Indonesia only. So in other words, the government has to work very hard to leverage financing options to support sustainable building projects in Indonesia. These challenges are required innovative solutions and certainly collaborative effort to learn from many other countries' experiences for Indonesia also, as well as for ASEAN member countries. So how we can overcome these challenges and at the same time harness the full potential of sustainable building in our region. Financing innovative and green building is very important to transforming our economy. This is including building construction sector that need to be designed to become a greener building. Through our fiscal incentive, innovative financial instrument, we have the power to pave the way for sustainable change. Our fiscal instrument and tools, whether this is in the form of grant, subsidy, rebates, to debt financing and tax incentive, could be a very important instrument that can create a catalytic role for this transformation. We could also increase leveraging and attract more green finance and investment in both green building and energy efficiency. Government schemes have also the capacity to expedite transition towards sustainable construction practices by enhancing lending conditions and mitigating private investment risk through instruments like government guarantee. Within the Sustainable Infrastructure Finance Initiative, some project is already being developed to test whether the instrument is working. One special program, that is Program for Energy Efficiency in Building, or PEEB Cool, is one of the projects in which sustainable construction sector approved by the GCF in Indonesia as one of beneficiary. With this project, it is designed to address key barriers that are preventing the construction industry in targeted countries, including in Indonesia, from shifting from current unsustainable practices to a low-carbon, climate-resilient development path. PEEB Cool investment will also designed to improve the socio-economic resilience of all social strata in the communities in which they take place. But particularly, this is targeted for low and middle income groups, with the result of the construction to improve the low and middle income housing as well as public building by also providing services to the community. In the ASEAN region, our effort to pursue sustainable infrastructure is also being supported by the establishment of the ASEAN Infrastructure Fund, or AIF, which has undergone a transformation with the alignment, especially related to the urgency of providing green financing. One of the initiatives is the ASEAN Catalytic Green Finance Facility, or ACGF. This ASEAN Catalytic Green Finance Facility has been launched under the ASEAN Infrastructure Fund to support government in Southeast Asia, especially in preparing and financing infrastructure projects that promote environmental sustainability and contribute climate change goals. This initiative, supported by esteemed co-financer partner, the ACGF has already now promoting, empowering ASEAN government in our journey to reach the sustainable infrastructure development. I will now talk about the green mortgage, in which in Indonesia, similar to many other ASEAN countries, the demand for affordable housing will continue increase or growing, and that has created a backlog which reaching 12.7 million households. This is already displayed in the opening display. The government has provided many support for housing financing, especially targeted for the low-income people or household. The scheme, which is provided and supported by the government, especially with our budget, is the subsidy, whether this is the down payment or interest rate subsidy, providing building flats, especially the rumah susun, that is the high-rise flat, subsidized credit scheme such as housing ownership credit facility for housing financing liquidity, which is provided through our budget or APBN. The government of Indonesia realized that the increasing number of housing has a very important environmental impact. So, residential building, which is responsible around 17% of global greenhouse gas emission, with 5.5% being direct emission in building and 11% being indirect emission from the production of electricity and heat used in building. Okay. That's intrusion. I think they are trying to call your attention, whether you are still listening to my speech or not. Apologize for a little bit long. I'm going to have another 1 hour, so be very patient with me. Green mortgage is one of the options of innovative financial instrument, which is aligned with climate action and sustainability. But green mortgage, which encourage more housing purchases and renovation program, which meet energy efficiency standard, is still relatively new for Indonesia. Despite a very pressing need, it is worth noting that the green mortgage has not yet gained significant portion as the general trend of financing. And that's why we are initiating this seminar, and I appreciate SMF with Ministry of Public Work conducting this seminar in order for us to getting more familiar and listening and learning from other regions, especially from Europe and Japan, which is relatively more advanced. Indonesia Bank is already taking initiative to pioneering green mortgages by collaborating with environmentally conscious business that prioritize partnership with housing developers who adopt sustainability principle. This is a very good initiative. So we need to promote more. This collaboration aims to channel financing toward projects that align with green standard and principle. However, another pivotal aspect of this endeavor is the level of awareness among both customers and developers, which remain relatively low. So, advocacy and education, public communication is needed. The concept of green mortgages, though, still need a lot of promotion and still relatively unfamiliar with many of both Indonesia customers and developers. So to bridge this awareness, strategic measure through training and awareness campaign is becoming very important. I'm saying that this is a very good initiative for all of us to start familiarizing this concept to the people in general and also for the development and the ecosystem of housing financing. As we are going to learn from the European lesson, in European, the mortgage loan are equivalent to around 46% of European Union's GDP. Since its inception in 2015, the EU Horizon 2020 funded Energy Efficient Mortgage Initiative, or EEMI, has been the catalyst for the growth of a new integrated multi-stakeholder energy efficient mortgage ecosystem. So we do want to learn how they develop, whether this is on a policy framework, the initiative, the ecosystem, and the participation of all stakeholders need to be learned so that we are going to be able to create the right environment and ecosystem for this to be developed in Indonesia. Green mortgage could have a huge potential impact in the future. Younger population and Indonesia, unlike Japan and Europe, the two example countries or region that we are going to learn this afternoon, they are all have the aging population. Indonesia still have relatively young demographic. So our young population will continue have a strong demand for housing. So how we are going to be able to fulfill those demand, which is going to continue growing, but without sacrificing the environmental impact. Our millennial generation is becoming the driving force for our growth, but they also, at the same time, the younger generation, the millennial XYZ generation, they are all also more and more aware about the importance of living in a more sustainable way, avoiding climate change, catastrophic implication, and have a lifestyle which is becoming more aware with the environment impact. Millennial has become a driving growth in the ESG investment. They contributed $51.1 billion to sustainable funds in 2020, and around 75% of our millennials are eco-conscious and favor environmentally friendly products. So, ladies and gentlemen, the path toward energy efficient is not a one smooth, solitary journey. It is a journey for all of us to be able to collaborate, uniting government, financial institutions, industrial leaders, civil society, how we can work together to actually continue our journey to achieve our sustainable development goal by at the same time taking care of this earth. ASEAN country also ready to join this journey. I hope this afternoon seminar will provide us with a new perspective, learn more experience, and also finding a new idea, instrument, and policy in order for us to be able to improve our energy efficient financing initiative. Our decision today will certainly have the implication and shape the future of the next generation. Thank you so much, and let's us all embark on this green journey together. Thank you.
Thank you, Ibu Sri Mulyani. Please remain on your position, Ibu Sri Mulyani, as we will have a group photo session. With all due respect, we would like also to invite Bapak Heri Trisaputra Zuna, Bapak Ananta Wiyoko, Mr. Luca Bertalot, Mr. Shimizu Toshio, Bapak Robert, and also ASMA member from Malaysia and Philippines to join the group photo station. We are pleased to join on the stage. And we are pleased the photographer or media to capture these valuable moments of the Asian Indonesia 2023. Okay, let's count together. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we would like also to invite ASEAN 1 to join a group photo station. We are pleased to join on the stage. Please join on the stage. Okay, let's count together. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we will also invite all the ASEAN 1 to join the group photo station. We're pleased all the photographers and also media to capture this valuable moment. Okay, 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and also all the distinguished guests for attending this seminar. Also, we express our gratitude for the willingness of Ibu Sri Mulya Indrawati. Thank you, Bu, for the presence at this event amid your busy schedule. We would be pleased if you could stay with us until the end of the event, yet you should other agendas.